Wolverine Infinity Watch went from one of the most hyped books on my pull list to an absolute joke within the course of 5 issues. And that's with me showing a lot of grace to Gerry Duggan during this storyline. And I was extremely excited about this book for a couple reasons. First of all, this amazing cover. It leads you to believe that something amazing is going to happen in this series, and it just really doesn't. Second, we just finished the Return of Wolverine series, which, for better or worse, was more worse than better. And at the end of it, Wolverine shows up at the X-Mansion at the very end of it, and that's actually where this book kicked off. Which, of course, if he goes straight there, it leaves you wondering, at what point did he have the Space Stone in Infinity Countdown? Not to mention that in the Uncanny X-Men series, the school is gone. The school's been destroyed, and they're operating out of a bar at this point. But Gerry Duggan actually did a good job of explaining all this away. It's not Jean Grey there. The mansion is destroyed, and it's Loki playing a trick on Wolverine. And for Act 2, we find out that it wasn't actually Wolverine that was making his appearance in Infinity Countdown, hanging out with the Space Stone, giving it to Black Widow, and all that. Instead, it was Old Man Phoenix who gave that to Black Widow, which doesn't make a lot of sense, but that's okay because he's leaving him with the Time Bat, which of course is a baseball bat with time diamonds in it so you can travel through time. We also find out that Old Man Phoenix was sent here, or it was requested to go back, by no other than Loki, because Loki does something or is going to do something that is going to lead to a bunch of people getting killed. And this all ties back to Infinity Wars. If you want to, you can go catch up on my videos there. I'll try to link them right here and leave a link down in the description as well if it helps you out. And with all these shenanigans, basically what we get is a new mission from Old Man Phoenix, and that is Loki and Logan have to protect Hector, because Hector is basically a walking, talking time stone now. But you guys know how Infinity Stones work, and it's never just one person after them. It's always a bunch of people after him. And the first one that shows up in this comic book is Warbringer. And just to give you an idea of how bad Infinity Countdown was, the last time we saw Warbringer, he was being defeated by the Guardians of the Galaxy. In particular, Drax playing a saxophone with the Power Stone down in it. That's how he destroyed their army. Really happened. Correction, he got beat by Kid Nova after that in Infinity Countdown Champions number 2, which was as bad as it sounds. But that book did feature Riri Williams being dealt a huge piece of humble pie by Thanos, so it had some good and bad in it. But I digress. Back to Wolverine Infinity Watch number 2, where it was just a good old-fashioned slobber knocker between Wolverine and Warbringer and Loki and this guy that they're running around trying to save, who doesn't understand what's happening to him with the Time Stone. And at the end of it, Loki pulls some shenanigans. He tricks Warbringer into leaving what he thinks is the Time Stone, and all is well until Robbie Ryder and the Fraternity of Raptors show up and kidnap Homeboy with the Time Stone. So going into issue 3 with the involvement of the Fraternity of Raptors, you're thinking we're going to get maybe Nighthawk involved, or we're going to get Nova involved, or nope, they're going to go back and they're actually going to enlist the help of Bats. That's right, Bats, the talking ghost dog, which, hey, was actually pretty funny, and the scene of him riding on Loki's space boat is absolutely hilarious, and I laughed out loud at it, I ain't gonna lie. But it turns out that Bats was the right choice, because right as they're about to cut into Hector and try to find his Time Stone, Bats and company show up to save the day. And Wolverine does what Wolverine does best. He starts ripping apart some robots and everything, and decides that one of the best ways to get rid of these guys is just to tear the hull of the ship and eject them out into space, basically. Well, Wolverine doesn't take into consideration the fact that the Raptors can survive in the vacuum of space and ends up getting his tail handed to him. And Loki didn't fare much better, but Loki's got a plan, and apparently that plan is he's going to go tell Robbie's mom on him. I'm not going to lie, this is kind of where the book started to fall off pretty quickly. So moving into issue 4, I kind of not as excited as I was. It's kind of tapered off quite a bit at this point. But it begins with Wolverine in some kind of smelter where they're basically trying to melt down the adamantium so that Robbie can use it for his own suit. And in a moment that ends up being pretty cool, he tells Bats to go fetch the stick. In the meantime, Loki's hanging out with Robbie's mom. Bats is trying to deliver the goods. And when he does deliver it, it's actually pretty cool because Logan busts out, grabs the bat, and basically speeds up his healing factor to where he's instantly healed from being in this smelter. In the ensuing chaos with Wolverine running around naked, killing robot raptors left and right, Robbie ends up getting into it with Loki, and in the confusion thinks that his mother, who is actually there, is an illusion, and ends up whipping out his blades and slicing her and killing her. Lucky for him, though, the guy who is the Time Stone now is in the house. Well, he reluctantly, accidentally kind of jumps back, creates a time paradox, but manages to prevent Robbie from killing his mom. And when he does, the time variant police show up. And, well, at the same time, Warbringer shows up again, saying he's tired of being tricked, he's done with the games. And that gets us to number 5, where the cover artist apparently was just tired of drawing Wolverine altogether. So you find out right off the bat in the episode that the time variant cops were a fabrication of Loki, and Warbringer commits in just wanting to smash these guys, because that's what Warbringer does. And Robbie Ryder throws up a force field to protect him temporarily. Well, as that begins to fail, Hector freezes time after getting a rousing speech about mutant abilities from Wolverine. The problem is he can't restart time. Now, it's pretty cool that he freezes time. The problem is he can't figure out how to unfreeze it. So, making the most of his time, he manages to steal the clothes off a dead man and then figure out how to unpause. He has better control of it now. He's able to freeze just Warbringer, and Wolverine's like, okay, I got it from here. Right as one of the engines explodes, everybody has to hop in a portal and get out of there because the ship's going down. Once everyone's back, Wolverine is basically like, look, thanks, I need your help, I need you to bring back the X-Men. And Hector's kind of just a complete douche about it. He's like, you're just like everybody else, you just want to use me. Well, he ends up using his advantage with time to basically throw down on Logan, and after that, he disappears. From there, Loki and Wolverine, they go their separate ways. Loki going off to deal with his father in War of the Realms, and Wolverine going off to New York, I guess, to meet up with Punisher and do his War of the Realms piece going forward. So overall, did this series live up to the hype? I don't really think it did. I think the high point was probably this cover right here. Issues 1 through 3 were fun. And after 4 and 5 were just okay. I think this was a good start to his story. And it ended up not going anywhere. I don't know if he was rushed. Him being Gerry Duggan was rushed because he had to get Loki and Wolverine back because they were involved in the War of the Realms or what. But it was a bunch of nothing. I feel like this was a fun concept. I feel like this could have been a good storyline. And I feel like it just ended up being rushed, and it just did not have a good ending. The part with Loki going and getting Robbie Ryder's mom is stupid, and this could have been a lot better. I did enjoy some of Loki and Wolverine's back and forth banter. Some of it was pretty funny. I thought Bats was one of the highlights of the book, as goofy as having a ghost dog is, to track other spaceships and whatever. He was just a funny character, and the part with him on the ship with his ears flopping made me laugh. The part with him busting through as Wolverine is ripping through the Raptors was funny and made me laugh. And he's saying space is awesome. I thought that was it's just funny. I did like that. Honestly, with the art, it wasn't great, but it was it was good and it fit the storyline. There were some very humorous parts where the art really made the joke. I enjoyed the fact that anytime or several times that Wolverine was standing by Loki, you could barely see the top of his head, just because it just the angles were funny sometimes. The art wasn't great, but it fit the story. It fit the story that it really wasn't that serious. So why it wasn't the sharpest, it was fun and it fit the storyline, I thought. So would I recommend picking this up in trades? Probably not, honestly. It's not that interesting of a book. It wasn't that good of a read. If you didn't get the floppy of Infinity Watch #1, you missed out on the high point of this series. Probably wouldn't recommend the trade, like I said, but there are worse books out there. I definitely don't see this as a storyline that I would pick up 5 years from now and be like, oh man, I definitely want to read that one again. But guys, that's all I got. If you haven't, hit that subscribe button. Help me level up on this game of YouTube. Leave a like, and of course, please leave your comments below. Everything you do interacting with the channel helps attract more views. So I sincerely appreciate it, guys. That's all I got. Real Comic Stacks out.